Hi, Jason Knott here with Talking with Words with CE Pro, and I'm joined by Rob Diodero from Cleerline Technologies. Rob, thanks for coming.
Oh, pleasure.
All right, big question. Why fiber? Why is fiber such an important solution these days?
Oh boy, where to begin? We've really come a long way over the last 6 years in terms of the adoption of fiber. And fiber really started out, from the standpoint of being the future-proof solution for the integrator to kind of protect them from, what was coming. And really where we're at today is it's arrived, and the future is now. If we look at simple math, the 18.2 gig spec for HDMI 2.0 just can't simply go over Cat 6 or Cat 6A. Yes, Cat 8 can handle it, and Cat 7, but Cat 7, is much more difficult to handle. And what we've really resolved with fiber is overcoming a lot of the barriers and hurdles that the integrator had to face with fiber previously. Fiber today, especially from Cleerline, is more durable than copper, more durable than any other fiber, and is easier to terminate than copper, which I know many people would find hard to believe, but that's really what we overcame, and that's what we set out to do 8 years ago.
Let's talk about the termination. I've seen you in demos do it unbelievably quickly. You've got some tooling. Tell us about that.
Well, really it all comes back down to our core technology is around the glass itself. People get confused that it's the connector or the tools. Those are all really just ancillary to the fact that we changed the way that the glass is manufactured to incorporate a polymer coating into the fiber itself. With that polymer coating, we can eliminate 50% of the steps for doing mechanical splice in the field, which really is very adequate. In fact, mechanical splice is adopted around the world at a much higher level than in the US. And with mechanical splice, you can terminate fiber and get up to 40 to 100 gig over 2 strands of fiber, which is pretty remarkable. And then from there, the density of the glass, you could put 12 strands in a 3mm tube. That's the equivalent of 6 Cat 8s that can go 1,000 feet. So those are really good benefits, but also with fiber, you don't have to worry about EMI RF interference. And that's such a big headache for people, and they don't even realize it. We deal on the distribution side with HC-based T product and whatnot, and 70% of the returns that we get on that type of product, it passes all the bench tests. The product is fine. But if copper is bent or pulled more aggressively, not terminated perfectly, you can have seepage and you can have noise within your environment that creates a problem for distributing video.
You mentioned the durability. We'll talk about the bend radius now with your new polymer fiber.
Yeah, so the best way that we describe it is if you were to compare your car window to a window pane in your house, and you threw a rock at your car window, it's gonna chip it and it's going to splinter. Well, there's a coating on that glass that it creates the safety barrier so that it doesn't just shatter when a pebble hits you while you're driving. Well, our fiber with that polymer coating creates what we call on the TIA spec mechanical dynamic fatigue, and that is a series of testing that we go through that simulates basically the fiber under duress. And our mechanical dynamic fatigue rating is 30, or N equals 30. The standard is 18, and most of the competition out there is between 20 and 22. That equates to about 200 times more durability in the field, and mathematically we can prove out that you can bend our glass to roughly 2.2 millimeters and maintain a 31-year life expectancy. Which means that if the fiber is pulled aggressively, pulled around a corner, bent, gets tied into a knot, gets some type of loop kink, you straighten it out, it's going to work fine.
Still works.
Yep.
So you mentioned some of the other potential barriers. One of them was cost. What's happening on the cost front? What's changed?
Well, when we entered the market, a 10 gigabit switch with SFPs, which is the small form factor pluggable connector that you see that goes into your switch. We saw prices anywhere between $500 and $1,500 an endpoint. Today, those prices are under $80 an endpoint. So just on the switch components alone, we've seen 10 gigabit fully fiber switch outfitted for under $100 a port, which is remarkable because now you're providing fiber with the endpoints at a cost that really is not a barrier for the integrator to adopt. Ironically, with glass and fiber, the cost of the cable itself has always been relatively inexpensive. The connectors tend to be a little bit more, but our connectors are reusable, which allows you to make a mistake and re-terminate and get it right. And again, you're providing a solution that your customer can really grow into. So, you know, one of the things, I woke up this morning and one of the announcements I got on my news feed was that Sharp is planning on shipping an 8K TV next year. That's music to my ears. Yeah. So when you look at those types of things and the 2.1 spec that everybody got scared about at the beginning of the year, we're talking 48 gig. Copper just can't do it, and we're going to constantly be forced to compress. Now, that being said, I fully believe that technology will still continue to evolve over copper, where existing infrastructure will be able to be leveraged to get certain performance, but you'll never get to the uncompressed, the full bandwidth, and the full feature set that you want your customer. That's you know, this market, especially in the CEDIA channel, is really dedicated to get to.
Yeah, these are the guys asked to break all the rules in terms of the signal distribution, and why put yourself through that agony with a choke pointed, or you can go to fiber. All right, last question. Tell us what's new from Cleerline.
So, you know, as we've grown as a business, as I mentioned, we started this 6 years ago. We like to do things very organically, and we've gotten to the point now where we're adding things that are really ancillary to the product, but allow our customers to really get everything they need to deploy fiber from us. So the introductions that we've had over this year are really important to that, and those include wall boxes and rack mount enclosures and, you know, plates and accessories that allow guys to actually deploy the fiber all Cleerline end to end and make it really easy for them to get everything they need from us. Addition to that, we've also introduced an entire suite of cleaning products, and the cleaning products are really focused on the end faces for the connectors. It's just a good industry practice to clean the end face of the connector, because if there's any dust or any type of film on that, it could create issues with your signal distribution. So those are two new categories for us. And then we also just introduced a new kit package for our toolkit, our basic entry-level toolkit. It now comes, we have an add-on that includes an entry-level tester, and they can get a full suite of tools plus testing for under $900 at DealerNet, which is a great price point for what we're looking at there.
Well, a lot going on, a very cutting edge. Rob Diodero, Cleerline Technologies, thanks for joining us on Talking with Words.
My pleasure.